Time to celebrate. The Panthers are your Stanley Cup champions. Got it done last night. Look at this. Got the shirt on. Yes, sir. Your Florida Panthers defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-1 and left no doubt back to back Stanley Cup championships. It was a Sam dunk. Yes, a Sam dunk. Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart end up leading the charge for the Panthers in the finals against the Edmonton Oilers last night. How about the game by Sam Reinhart? 4 of the 5 goals for Reinhart as he really came to life and had a terrific finals. The Panthers just dominated over the last couple of games against Edmonton. Edmonton's only 2 wins in this series were both in overtime. Florida sets a Stanley Cup record for the finals for the amount of minutes led in a championship series. So it is all about the Panthers. And you know what's nice? Last year, the Panthers won that championship and they had to go out and celebrate in a steady downpour on the beach. I mean, you've got a Southern team on the beach down in Fort Lauderdale and a chance to celebrate with the backdrop of the Atlantic Ocean. And it ended up being a very gray day with steady to heavy rain during the parade, during the celebration. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And if you check the forecast down in South Florida, looks like there's going to be sunshine through the rest of the week. And so they should be able to have their parade, have their beachside or on the beach celebration. I am excited. I would love to be able to jump down there and be part of that celebration. I can't, but I would love to. Uh, but what a game last night. And it's great to be able to win it, wrap it up, and not even have to sweat it because this was total domination by the Panthers. Edmonton actually played pretty well, but the difference is the Panthers had Sergei Bobrovsky and Edmonton had Skinner and Pickard. And nothing against Skinner or Pickard, but they're not Stanley Cup championship goaltenders that carry the team to a title. They're serviceable goaltenders that are good enough to hold up when the offense is clicking. And the Florida Panthers' physical play matched everything that Edmonton could bring, and the Panthers end up winning it 4 games to 2. It's an exciting day. Now you've got my attention fully on the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton and that strained calf. What's going to happen with Halliburton for Game 6? I mean, clearly he's going to play. I can't imagine they find anything in that MRI, which was supposedly done yesterday. We don't know any report on what they found, but I don't think they'll find anything that's going to keep him out of Game 6. A game where the Pacers have their backs firmly against the wall. They're desperate. If they want to continue their chances to win a championship, they're going to have to win Game 6 at home. And that's a lot of pressure. I don't know how this team's going to respond to that kind of pressure, but I'd expect that they're going to play well. They're going to have the final home game. The Pacers have reached the limit of home games that they could possibly even have this year. By going to Game 6 of the finals, they could not play any more than what they've played this year at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And this one's going to be a big one. And it's going to be fun to see how the Pacers respond. I'll tell you what, not all is done with the Indiana Pacers. I mean, all we've got to get for the Pacers fans is back-to-back wins. That's it. Back-to-back wins. Yeah, you have to beat the best team in the NBA back-to-back. But the Pacers were one of the top 3 teams as far as their record since January 1st. So Oklahoma City's done it. Why can't the Pacers? Why not us? That's the big question right now for the Indiana Pacers. Why not us? Don't lose faith in the Pacers because they dropped back-to-back games. Yeah, they didn't play well in Game 5. Yeah, they blew a game in Game 4. But those were competitive games, and there were ways the Pacers could have won both those games. Game 4, they should have won. And this would be a totally different series and a totally different conversation if the Pacers had held on in Game 4. In Game 5, unfortunately, they played their similar pattern where they fell behind big. They fought their way back, but instead of completing the comeback in the fourth quarter, they had the game down to 2 points and had back-to-back really bad, I mean bad, turnovers by Andrew Nemhard. And those can't happen. A lot of the turnovers can't happen. And turnovers were a problem the entire game in Game 5. Pacers take care of the basketball. They're winning games against Oklahoma City. But if they give the ball up and give Oklahoma City easy baskets at the other end, or allow them to get some plays out of transition, it gets away from you in a hurry, especially at Oklahoma City. So Game 6 comes up tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens down in Indianapolis, Indiana. But man, I'm pumped. Panthers, what a great win. All right, so here's the other big story. A little brouhaha between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever last night, and it left a lot of people pretty frustrated and upset because it was very clear Connecticut does not like Caitlin Clark. That there's some players, J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabrey, they do not like Caitlin Clark. They, I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's the trash talk and they just don't respond well to it. I mean, Caitlin Clark's a little bit of a talker. She's competitive. She gets in your face. She can be a little annoying at times. I'm sure as an opponent, having someone talk the talk and then back it up by walking the walk, it gets very disappointing and frustrating. You can't beat them when they're at their best. And last night, Caitlin Clark was really solid for the Fever, and Connecticut couldn't take it. Pressure defense, poking her in the face, hitting her in the eye. She went down, and then Mabrey decides to come over and give her a body check to knock her to the ground. And somehow Mabrey, as someone not even involved in the play, coming over and knocking a player to the deck, doesn't get ejected from the game. I mean, by definition of the rule, it should have been a flagrant 2, gone for the night, and things might have settled down because the officials would have taken care of the policing that needed to be done. They didn't. And so what happens? Sophie Cunningham, late in the game, goes ahead and just tackles Sheldon to the ground and on a breakaway layup. And that led to an all-out scuffle, and you had 3 players ejected, technicals passed out. It was kind of an ugly finish. And Stephanie White did not hold back. Did not hold back. I'm sure she's going to be paying the league a little bit of a fine for her post-game comments. But in the post-game presser with her and Caitlin Clark, they asked Clark about the situation, and Stephanie White jumped in and basically said, the league is better. Players are more athletic. They're more talented than ever. Everything in this league is on a trajectory going up, or is it up? And the only thing that isn't is the officials. She said, our officials are behind. The trajectory of the league up, the officials flat, and these officials are not keeping up with today's game. And they completely lost control of what happened last night at Cambridge Fieldhouse. But the good news, the Fever are going to be playing in the Commissioner's Cup championships. They qualify with a win last night and then a New York Liberty victory over the Atlanta Dream, and that puts the Fever into the Commissioner's Cup finals. So they'll play on on July 1st, they're going to be playing the Minnesota Lynx, Nafisa Collier and company. Well, last night the Fever did get a very comfortable win. It's kind of funny, 17-point victory, 88-71, and they were 17.5-point favorites, but they won by 17. So I guess the consolation for Connecticut, even in a one-sided loss, they covered. I guess if you bet Connecticut, you got a victory out of that last night. But the story of the day, Panthers fans celebrate. It is a victory for the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals. They are back to back. And what a great team. What a great team. I mean, it's not hard at all to be a Panthers fan with this group. And it starts with Barkov. Barkov set the culture. An unselfish player, a star who doesn't mind the light shining on teammates. He's brought a culture of equality where everybody matters, everybody counts the same, and it's a culture that has won for the Panthers. Paul Maurice, unbelievable job as the coach of this group, bringing in players mid-stride with Seth Jones coming in and Brad Marchand. I mean, they've got guys that join the club and just fit right in seamlessly. Just a terrific year for the Florida Panthers, and excited about the celebration that will take place down in Fort Lauderdale. And I know, the family will be probably celebrating right along with them. All right, we'll let you go. Pacers, big one coming up in Game 6 tomorrow night, and we'll have more on that coming up later on another video. So stay with us right here on the Sports Rush on YouTube. Make sure before you leave, you subscribe, you like, you share, and ring the bell to get alerts. If you've got a comment, we would love to have your comment. We'll try to get that in on the future video. Always enjoy reading the comments. But once again, make sure, above all else, you do subscribe. It's free. There's no real commitment to it. There's no fee to it. I mean, you just hit the button and you're good to go. Thank you very much. Have a great, great hump day.